Well, it's definitely a winter wonderland out here now. January 18th today. We got more snow yesterday. It is a winter wonderland out here. Everything is covered in snow and looking fresh and cold, but you can definitely see the changes that we've made in the last 3.5 years. So let's chat about this a bit. So I thought I would do a series of review videos of what we've changed around here since we moved in. And the first one I'm starting it with is what I call the poolside garden. At least that's what we're called it for the past few years. It's now going to become a cut flower garden. It's not going to be big to start. Well, it's never going to be big because we don't have a lot of land, but I want to make some flower bouquets to sell and also to give away. And so this is going to have no more vegetables. So the one thing that you'll find when you start making gardens for the first time on a new piece of property is you're going to make changes, you're going to put things in, and then you're going to find out 6 months down the road, a year down the road, even 2 years down the road, it's really not working the way that you want it to work. So you start making changes. And over the last 3.5 years, we have made a lot of changes. So I thought I would share these videos with you so that you could see. I think I'm going to have 3 or 4 of them just to show you what we have done in the last 3.5 years. And I have to tell you, as I review the videos, I'm shocked at how much work we've done. You kind of forget all the hard work behind it. But let's get to that video and show you the poolside garden and the changes we've made in it. This is what it looked like around our pool when we moved in. We had lots of rose bushes. There was actually like 35 plants on the property. And behind that, they're either junipers or a blue spruce. And we decided we were going to take them all out. We wanted to have, if we're going to water something, we want it to be something that we can actually eat. Down there was going to be our future site of the blueberries, but I planted something else by mistake. This is what the back of it looked like, and yeah, just a different view. So I had to start cutting down all the rose bushes. I'm using welding gloves as well as large clippers, and I had to cut on this side, and then there's a path, and I cut on the other side. And even 3.5 years later, I still have some rose bushes growing up. I've got to try to get them out this year. So Mama and I had to haul everything down. We used a tarp to do that, just made it much easier, and I would just throw the branches into the tarp. Now I'm cutting down along the pool, and this is about 40 feet long, so it was a lot of rose bushes that needed to come out. Then once those were out, I had to start on the trees behind that, and what I did is I cut the branches off. I cut the tree trunk, whatever, about 3 feet high, so we could get them out after the fact. Those are all the rose bushes, and what I did is I advertised on Facebook, freeze rose bushes to anybody who brought a shovel, and I think all but 2 went. Now what I'm doing is taking the mulch off, and because it's like March, only the top bit was thawed, so I took that off because I wanted to get the rest to thaw underneath. I had to get it all off so I could take the fabric out to get the rose bushes out. So now you can see here I'm down to the weed suppressant fabric, and I still have that to do. Here it's gone, and the rose bushes are gone. They came and dug them up, and they were gone. Saved me a lot of work. Mom and I are using a jackal here to pull the trees out, and I have 2 pieces of 2x4. And here is rose roots. The roots were actually 15 to 20 feet long. It was a lot of work to clean this up. First thing we put in was a cold frame, and you can see where I'm clearing the garden, getting ready to frame it in. And there was a lot of dirt. This is over 3 feet wide, and this bed, including that first one, is like I said, 40 feet. This is a pathway, and we'll have another bed. I came back from work, or a town I should say, and Mom had already shoveled 4 feet the day before. Today she was determined she was going to do another 3 feet. And you can see we've got it clear all the way up, and I've got my 2x6s to get the beds built. And also I put fabric down for our pathway so we don't have to deal with weeds. Here is where I'm framing it. And I just put some stakes on the side to keep the wood in place. And then I used rebar. And I did the rebar on the inside so you don't see it. Took a little time to do the whole thing, but here the bed is all done. And now we're ready to put the compost in. And this is compost time. Took a bit of time. That was 10 yards that we had dumped there. There I am, almost complete. It looks so pretty. Then it was planting time. It's so satisfying to put something in the ground that you've grown. And then this is covered in poly because it still was freezing. And I'm just pushed the boundaries. Then we decided the bed wasn't deep enough. And this was probably a year and a half, 2 years later. So I'm going to make the bed higher. And this is it. We put it up another, 8 inches. So we have nice deep beds, but we got to put compost in. This is the next set of beds. These are metal beds that I use roofing panels for. And it's also going to act as a, a wall. To stop some, I can't remember, I'll think of it. But it's going to be 32 feet. This is the first 2 beds that we put in. And then we had to fill them up. So it was a lot of digging. So this is the 3rd bed. That's a cinder block. And that was a pain. There was a bunch of them in the ground. And rocks, big rocks. And then there's all the cinder blocks that we had to pull out. So it was a job and a half. So what we did is dug in around the back, left the dirt in the center so that we could get the bed in there. And then built it around the dirt pile. Then I would dig down in the middle because what I would do is put a cable in there to hold the front and the back together. And that way it'll keep the bed sturdy. And that's what you can see that I'm doing there. And now I have 3 beds done. It was going to be our strawberries, moving it though. So this is the 3rd spot, or the 4th bed that I'm going to have to put in, is right there. And 3.5 years, it's not done. This is what it looks like right now. I have dug it out, but there's a huge rock there. We got to bust it apart. So this is what the beds look like. Got the strawberries in there, but I'm going to pull them out and put them into a green stock. This is going to be for flowers. Oh yeah, Missy loved to eat the strawberries. That's why I got the net over top. This is my cold frame. I'm going to remove it now because I'm we did it into strawberries, and then we put the strawberries on the bed, but now it's a herb garden. Don't know for how long though. It works really good. This is where I said I was going to put blueberries. I had these planted in for about a week here. They're looking good. They're hascaps. The tags look like blueberries. And I thought they were blueberries, so we got 4 hascaps. And they're actually really going good now, and we had quite a few on it this year. Now, if you look behind, you will see like a rock wall. And a friend of mine was up, and we put this wall in. I will be replacing that with actually a cedar wall. I'm going to put beds all along it, so I need the extra strength. So there's a look at it. You can see the tree on the right. It's about to come out. And there they are, taking the tree down. Now the one on the left, a year later, or was it a year and a half later, it had to come out as well. And so here it is, that's all cleaned up, looking really good. And now we have 2 puppies investigating because things have changed. This is why this tree had to come out. Every year branches were breaking off. The top half of the tree is now dead. And from what I understand with this kind of birch, it will just keep dying and breaking off. And then the final was putting in these stairs so we could get up to the garden easily. I hope you enjoyed seeing the changes that we have done around here. Like I said, it's been a lot of work, but it's also been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to this next year. we're going to do a lot of changes. We're going to do a lot of new things in here. We got beds to build. We've got plants to start growing within the next, few weeks. Oh man, I got to get busy and start planting seeds. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't subscribed, be sure to subscribe. Click that like button and we'll see you in the next video from My Mini Homestead. Bye everybody.